Hands down.
Now, listen, I live here, so I'll wait. You want to keep talking in between every other word? This is the section that's the biggest problem, and it's been that way all year. All year. Now, you want to do that? I'll wait. I live here. I can be in bed 30 seconds after I leave you. So it could be, we could stop in 10 minutes, we could stop at 3 in the morning, it doesn't matter to me. It's Christmas time, and you're flying to wherever with your 3 brothers, your 2 grandmothers, 42 grandfathers, parents, and everybody else. I start to ask the question, who's bullshitting home with the information that we're getting on the financial aid form? So that when it comes to our attention, to Miss Tordo, or to Dr. Cassidy, or to me, or to Mr. Gallo, that's the case, and we look at the information on the financial aid form, then you will lose your financial aid beginning January. That letter's going home to your parents. It's not your fault, I'm just telling you. So you can help communicate that to your parents. That's a bad idea. It's a bad idea for us, because we're all riding in the same boat, but you do that at a university, you got a big, big problem on your hands. How big, Mr. Scanlon? Real big. So, I'm communicating with your parents. I'm asking for your help. I'd be real careful where I was going over the break and where the resources are coming from. And I know all the parents say, oh, his grandmother did it. If your grandmother paid for it, she can pay for you to come to school, but you won't be here. So, not successfully completing. You need this? Here. Because it's being broadcast. Listen, if I were sitting up there and I were in gray, I wouldn't initiate anything. Either conversation, clapping, nothing. If I were in gray, I wouldn't initiate anything.
Several of you, significant part of your financial aid is a scholarship that comes to us from one or more people. Mrs. Hauk, who works in our advancement office, coordinates and organizes all those scholarships and makes sure that you're connected with the donors. She sends you emails repeatedly asking you to complete information or even sign cards or forms. Those aren't optional. If you get an email from Mrs. Hauk, you need to pay attention to that and address it immediately. Some of you are at risk of losing your scholarship this week if you do not respond to her today. Mrs. Hauk is also going to send a form out to all of you because of what Father Ed just said, the fact that all of you get some form of financial aid. She's sending a form to the entire school asking you for a bit of information and for a couple of lines. That needs to be done by tomorrow, by every single one of you in this room. Do not ignore people's requests, ever, but especially when those requests are going to fix something that's for you.
There's a mentality in the country right now that kids don't want to fall into. There's a mentality in the country of being takers. People don't want to work. They want the government to pay for them. Believe me, you don't want to be a taker. You want to be a sharer. You want to learn when you're your age, not to be a taker, but to be a sharer. Understand? There's a lot of people in the country that are interested in slicing the pie so they can get their piece of pie, and not enough people making the pie. We need pie makers, not pie slicers, okay? So learn that when you're young. Don't be a pie slicer, be a pie maker. And don't have your hand out for people to give you something all the time without you responding. It's a welfare mentality that's leaking through the entire country. And there's people who try to sell it. And all it makes is selfish people. Under the guise, under the mask of being for somebody else. It's what the recovering drunk would call stinking thinking. So make sure you respond to what Ms. Houck has asked you to respond to. Next, during the break, all of the teams that you're committed to that are practicing, you had better be at the practices. Don't have your mother's call, say, oh, he's going to see his Aunt Jill in Poughkeepsie or something. You can do that, but then you're done. We had a parent recently call. The kid hadn't been in practice because mommy took him somewhere, and then she expected him to have his spot on the team when he came back. It don't work that way. This ain't a play date that mommy arranges, okay? It's not a play date. So if that's what your mother thinks this is, tell her to take you to some place where they have play dates. But this isn't it. So if there's practice, you had better be there. Pick your head up. There's another guy in gray with his head down. You can go home now. We did fine before you showed up. We don't need you. You're sitting up there in gray with your head down. You haven't earned a damn thing around here. Don't miss practices. If you miss practices, you're not going to stay on the team. If a coach leaves you on the team when you come back after missing practices, just missing them, I'll find another coach. Don't miss practice. Several years ago, I don't remember how many years. Where's Cass? How long ago did we bury Abdul? Was it Abdul? 93, right? Home visiting family for Christmas. Went out, I think he went out to get something at a store or something, as I recall it. And shot and killed, huh? Got shot and killed. We're great at that. Target practice. Target practice, which made for one less African-American guy in the city, that's all. Just thinning out the herd, you know what I mean? The good news is, the good news for some people is that we do it ourselves. They don't have to do it for us. We do it ourselves. Therefore, during the break, be careful where you are, be careful with whom you are, and be careful when you're with them. Where you are, with whom you are, and when you're with them. Nothing good in this town goes on at night. That's why monks stay up at night or get up early at night to pray, right? To try to sanctify the night. To try to sanctify the night. Because ugly things happen frequently at night. So therefore, wandering around the city at the middle of the night is never a good idea. So be careful where you are, who you're with, and when you're with them. I've had to bury guys on a too often, a frequent basis who weren't able to listen to that admonition, okay? I've had to stand with people, with mothers, when the doctor took the plug out of the wall with a 14-year-old because they couldn't do any more for him. And frequently that stuff happens at this time of the year. So that's just by way of saying, be careful. Don't be stupid in December. Clear? And remember, Dr. Cassidy, you may have something to say about it, I don't know. When we come back, everybody's getting tested. So there's an email out about that as well. So somebody told me today he had to be somewhere with his sister at 1:30, but he didn't know. I said, well, how could you have to be somewhere at 1:30 when we told you you had Convo at 1 o'clock? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, an email was sent out. Oh, I didn't read it. Oh, okay. What do you want me to do? So pay attention to your emails. Hold hands some other time, will you? I was actually going to wait and see how long it took you to take the stupid glasses off, but now I'll tell you to take them off, okay? Since you can't figure out situational awareness, that's not a good idea in this setting. Situational awareness. All right, who's got this, Justin?
We'd like to
really,
open.
Wait, hang on. You really feel a need to do that? You really feel a need that you got to do that stuff? Guys your age, you really feel the need. Because dealing with some of you here is like dealing with 5-year-olds. It's unbelievable. I don't know what the hell the pandemic did here or whatever. I think everything is like sitting home with your fat belly and the computer on it and turn the camera off, and you can do whatever you want. You're going to get the shock of your life, man. The shock of your life when you try to go to school. Ain't nobody going to put up with your infantile stupidity. Nobody.
We're not doing it.
You'll flunk out, then you'll come back here. They'll come back here, and what do they tell us, Cass? When they flunk out of college, and then they come back, what do they tell us? Money, yeah, I got screwed. The financial aid screwed me. Because you can't say I failed. The financial aid screwed me. Where's my brother? Where's Tom? Did you ever use that story? You just came back and said what? There you go. There you go. They asked me to leave. That's what they say. They asked me to leave. Saying what? There you go. That behavior is what will get it for you. Why? Because you'll be interested in that jackassing around when somebody else is studying and you'll fail, then you'll be home. And then it's when people tell Dr. Cassidy, tell other ones of the adults, oh, you were right. Yeah, well, we know we're saying it now. We know we're right on that stuff. You find it out later after there's already a disaster. Oh, you were right. Great. No consolation in that, being right. There's no consolation in being right when you got 5 more guys of color that aren't in school. Right? Okay, we were right. Big deal. So what? The damage is already done. We were right.
In silence, group leaders and beginners stand for attendance.
every year for the last couple of years, the advancement office has asked me to recommend an art student to create the Christmas card that St. Benedict sends out. And this year, the super talented artist, Irvin Joseph, created an amazing artwork. I wanted to bring them to Convo, but they weren't quite ready when I was coming over. But Irvin, I'm not sure where you're sitting right now, but we have a set of cards for you to pick up so your family can send them out. I will be putting together a bulletin board of some of the last Christmas cards and other cards that have been created by some of your talented peers. So be on the lookout for that when we come back in January. Thank you, Irvin. Come to the art room after Convo.
Just a reminder for those who are interested in taking classes at Rutgers next semester that we have a meeting in the college placement office as soon as things are done here.
And final reminder, Christmas program tonight, 7:30 in the auditorium. And immediately following Convocation, those who are involved in the Christmas program, we will meet for a rehearsal.
Any international student that is leaving the country, you better see me before you do so, right? I have to sign your I-20. If you leave without it, you may be stuck somewhere else.
All wrestlers after we dismiss, meet right down in the locker room. Thank you.
Quick things. One, Eric R., Evan V., see me after Convo, please. Second, if you're in my class and you have your books to return, please leave them under the faculty mailboxes outside of outside of the trophy room, and make sure you put a tag with your name on the outside of it. 3, if you're coming to the property during the break for practices or anything, remember you need your ID card to get in. Have your ID card with you at all times. Last, the email Father Ed referred to that I sent 2 days ago said that everybody, vaccinated or not, is going to be required to be tested twice on the first week of school in January. The first time you're going to be tested is on January 3rd. There are no classes that day. So you're going to have to make your way here. I will send more details about it. Everybody needs to watch your email for details about how testing is going to work that week. So pay close attention. It's extremely important that we do this right. All right, that's going to be on January 3rd, that testing. Some people had asked me before, if you've had a recent COVID infection, I'll deal with it. Well, you will not have to test, but I'll send you stuff on that. Yeah, have your Magnus filled out anytime you come to the property too, by the way. Even if you're just coming for practices or something, every day fill out your Magnus.
So real quick before we move on to our next thing, next semester in the winter, the polos with the long sleeve under it, it's not going to be tolerated at all. You're going to be sitting inside the lobby the entire day or going home if you're wearing that. So by the time we come back, you better have a hoodie because we was really, the senior 9, we were really lenient on you guys, for you guys who could not get a hoodie. So that's another thing. And another dress code issue is Uggs. You cannot wear Uggs with your school uniform. Or boots, Uggs or boots. If you wear Uggs coming into the next semester, you're going to get sent home. It's as simple as that. So when we get to the next semester, I don't want to hear anything. There's going to be an email sent out before the first day of school by me with the whole dress code, so there's no excuses.
Good afternoon, community. The National Honor Society, NHS, elevates a school's commitment to the values of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. These 4 pillars have been associated with membership in the organization since its inception in 1921. As a member, I hold these pillars. Unfortunately, last year, the National Honor Society inductees did not have the chance to have the honor of ringing the Coker Bell. I would like to acknowledge their hard work and tenacity and take the time today to recognize them. When I call your name, please come up and stand in a line near the bell. Christine A. I ask that you hold all applause to the end. Alexander B., Rashawn B., Natalia C., Yamil H., Romel H., Rosa J., Joseph J., Craig L., Brianna M., Joangil N., Christian P., Isaiah R., William R., Gitsi R., Eric R., and Kayla S. It is with great pleasure that I also announce the new inductees to the National Honor Society. Their high academics, drive for community service, and leadership set them apart. When I call your name, please come up and stand in line near the bell. Amberly C., Pedro C., Kelvin C., Vincent C., Daniel D., Julia G., Giovanni L., Calvin M., David O., and Isabel P. Congratulations, and you can now ring the bell.
Go. Showtime. Showtime. Hey, no.
Hand down. If you're reading the gospel today, please come down to the podium. Hand down. The time we get out depends on you guys. To prepare for Jesus' birth on Christmas, we will read from the Nativity story in St. Luke's Gospel. After it is read in English, members from the community will read verses from the same Gospel passage in different languages. As we listen to the reading, let's remember that God sent His Son to save all people from all nations and parts of the world. Jesus' love is universal and has the power to break down barriers and unite us all to Himself. Let us give thanks that our community is full of diversity of all kinds as we listen.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that the whole world should be enrolled. This was the first enrollment when Quirinius was governor of Syria. So all went to be enrolled, each to his own town. And Joseph too went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth, to Judea, to the city of David that is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and family of David, to be enrolled with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. While they were there, the time came for her to have her child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son. She wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. Now there were shepherds in the region living in the fields and keeping the night watch over their flock. The angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were struck with great fear. The angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for behold, I proclaim to you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. For today in the city of David a Savior has been born for you, who is Messiah and Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find an infant wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was a multitude of the heavenly host with the angel praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to those on whom his favor rests." The visit of the shepherds when the angels went away from them to heaven. The shepherds said to one another, "Let us go then to Bethlehem to see this thing that has taken place, which the Lord has made known to us." So they went in haste and found Mary and Joseph, and the infant lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known the message that had been told to them about this child. All who heard it were amazed by what they had been told by the shepherds, and Mary kept all these things, reflecting on them in her heart. Then the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, just as it had been told to them. When 8 days were completed for his circumcision, he was named Jesus, the name given him by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. The Gospel of the Lord.
Spanish. El nacimiento de Jesús. Por aquel tiempo, el emperador Augusto ordenó que se hiciera un censo de todo el mundo.
Foi o primeiro recenseamento quando Quirino era governador da Síria.
Brazilian.
Todos iam alistar-se, cada um à sua própria cidade.
Japanese.
ヨセフもナザリアの町を出てガリレアからユダヤに入り、ベツレヘムと呼ばれるダビデの町に登った。ダビデの家系の人だったからである。
Creole.
Na même zone ça, te gen gado mouton qui t'a passé nit là dehors avec mouton yo.
Laissa yon ange mon Dieu paraître devant yo. Belle lumière éclairée tout côté yo te ya. Yo te perd en pile.
German.
Und der Engel sprach zu ihnen: Fürchtet euch nicht, denn siehe, ich verkündige euch große Freude, die dem ganzen Volk widerfahren soll.
Koine Greek.
Χώτι ετέξθε χουμίν, σεμερών, σωτέρ, χως εστίν Χριστός Κούριος, εν πολλαίοι Δαβίδ.
Modern Greek.
Και τούτο είναι το σημάδι για να τον αναγνωρίσετε ο Κύριος. Θα βρείτε ένα βρέφος σπαγναροσμένο και εξαπλωμένο μέσα ένα παχνί.
Serbian.
I odenjom se sa anđelom pojavilo mnoštvo vojske, nebeske hvaleći Boga i govoreći.
Croatian.
Slava Bogu na najvišoj visini, a na zemlji mir među ljubima dobra volja.
Tagalog.
Nang makaalis ang mga anghel, pagbalik sa langit, ang mga pastol ay nag-usap-usap. Tayo na sa Bethlehem, tingnan natin ang pangyayari na ibinalita sa atin ng Diyos.
Latin.
Et venerunt festinantes et invenerunt Mariam et Joseph et infantum positum in praesepio. Videntes autem notum fecerunt verbum, quod dictum erat illes de poroe hoc.
Russian.
Все, кто слушал, удивлялись рассказу пастухов, а Мария все запомнила и размышляла об этом.
Italian.
Poi i pastori se ne andarono glorificando e lodando Dio per tutte le cose che avevano sentito e visto, proprio come era stato detto.
Dopo 8 giorni, quando fu il momento di circonciderlo, il bambino fu chiamato Gesù, il nome indicato dall'angelo prima che fosse concepito. Parola di Dio.
Hands down. We have a visitor from the North Pole. He's on his way.
I'm going to be quick because I know lots of us have things to get ready for. So I want everybody to be nice, not naughty. Behave because we want everybody back. You're on the list now. We want everybody back in January healthy, so make sure you behave. Now I got to go take care of some business.
Hands down. So we have some returning alumni in the room, so we'd like to invite them to the microphone to announce their name and their class, maybe their group as well. So we invite all alumni to the microphone. Returning alumni. Father Ed, stay away.
Oh, they lame.
Good afternoon. Anthony Badger, class of 77.
Kevin Kaye, class 20, white section. Lastly, if you are asked to speak about any faculty members, please come to the microphone. Make sure you make it clear that they're legal.
All right, guys. So after this term, Mr. Drill will be leaving us. If you don't know who Mr. Drill is, he works with Mr. John Baptiste and in the college guidance office, and he helps all the seniors out with their college applications. That's him right there. So, from the time I met Mr. Drill my junior year, I've always noticed how dedicated he was to us, making sure that he puts in 24/7 to make sure we get into good colleges. Over the past year, I remember nights when I would see Mr. Drill catching the train all the way to his home in NYC. And then the next day, he would be here in Convo with all of us at 8 o'clock. One thing I love about Drill is how honest he always is. He never fails to keep it 100 with us. And even when, no matter the situation, he always has time for jokes. Whether they're corny, whether they're good or not, always has time for jokes. So, real quick, I just want to wish Mr. Drill good farewell. We will definitely miss you, and good luck with your future endeavors.
At the end of this term, Ms. McPherson will also be leaving us. I met Ms. McPherson my sophomore year in her Intro to Journalism class, and I've taken classes with her ever since. Her compassion, optimism, and desire to educate, a desire which had her dealing with freshmen this year, which we all know can be very hard, make her one of the best people to be around. It is through these many gifts of hers that I was able to develop as a person. After a few recruitment attempts by Ms. McPherson to the Benedict News, it became the first to provide me with opportunities for leadership. Through my time in the Benedict News, I have very much appreciated the creative freedom Ms. McPherson has given us to report on the things that we find important in our lives, and really giving us the opportunity to have a say on these issues. Moreover, Ms. McPherson has provided emotional support, making her like a mother figure to a lot of us. And also, in a very journalistic fashion, I have compiled some quotes from some students whom you've impacted the most, Ms. McPherson. Ms. McPherson's greatest gift isn't her masterful understanding on writing and grammar. It's her ability to uplift and seek talents in students with a unique eye no one else shares. Her patience and love she transfers is eternal and aspiring to pass on. That was Davion Contrell Miller. You've helped me to grow both as a student and as a person. Take care of yourself. We love you. Thanks for everything. 80s music is still great. Israel Small. I met Ms. McPherson my junior year, and I believe her glowing spirit and inspiring personality made my experience at Benedict's one I will never forget. She has and will continue to be role model to me, to many. I aspire to recognize talent in others as Ms. McPherson has done so in many others. Though your departure saddens me, I am truly excited for the journey that awaits you. Yoangil Nolasco. Ms. McPherson, we wish you the best in your future endeavors. Remember us when you're the best-selling author that I know you can be, And we love you on behalf of the community. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
So lastly, someone else that will be leaving us this semester is Deborah Maldonado. If you don't know, she graduated last year, but she had to finish her classes, so she decided to stay, and this is now her last convocation. So please give her a nice farewell.
Good afternoon, community. So as fall term comes to an end, I would like to thank the Benedict News staff and moderators, Ms. McPherson and Brother Bruno, for making this year's magazine possible. For this term's magazine, we wanted to highlight a side of Benedict's that hasn't been seen in the past years. This term's magazine shows a theme of change. Although we returned in person this year, there was much work needed to be done to accept the additions this virus brought, such as the addition of the Girls Prep Division, mask, and the re-implementation of Benedict's traditions. Our community is in a moment that it would have never been seen before. And this term's magazine is an accurate reflection of this change and the newly added contributions. So now, basically, all the
It's not slippery, it just slipped on my hand. Right now? Where's Jaden at?
Oh no. So members of the Benedict News now will give the magazines to group leaders and section leaders. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
In January. It's only for the group leaders.
Oh.
It's on?
Oh, I was getting in the freshman.
Real quick. So the magazine isn't for everyone right now. This is basically a sample.
Say that again? Yeah, I think that's better. Just create a spot where they can just grab it and I think that's better. Can I get a copy for myself?
I dismiss girls.
Hands down. Last thing, for Mr. Adebato, if you have anything donated for the food pantry, right after Convo, bring it to the HAB boardroom to his classroom. All right, have a good break, everyone. Stay safe.